So, it's likely you've heard of this guy, Sam Bankman-Fried, or SBF as they call him. He was this nerdy and very sloppy 30-something-year-old who ran what is turning out to be the largest Ponzi scheme in U.S. history. It was called FTX, and they had a hedge fund as well. Today, I want to peel the onion a bit on why these scams keep occurring and why people continue to chase these get-rich-quick scam artists so you don't fall for them ever again. Hi, welcome to another episode of Wired for Wealth, guiding you to achieve lasting financial freedom and peace of mind. I'm your host, John MacGregor, your antidote to your financial struggles. And if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Ring that bell below and hit subscribe. You don't want to miss further episodes. All right, so let's dig in. So some refer to this guy as the mini Bernie Madoff. Remember that guy? But I'm telling you, he is no mini Bernie. He dwarfs Bernie in the damage that he has caused, and we've only scratched the surface of how much money he has stolen from investors. And the problem here, unlike old Bernie, SBF ripped off a lot of middle and lower income people, not just the rich as Bernie did. I mean, he's destroyed people's lives. Absolutely devastating. This entire thing is a train wreck that not only involves the villain, but the rich and famous who endorsed him as well, including Tom Brady and his ex Giselle, and even Larry David. They're all being sued big time. Now, I can see why some unsuspecting people fell for this con. This guy was getting a ton of press. The media absolutely adored him. Even the self-proclaimed investment guru himself, Jim Cramer, old Jim on CNBC, worshipped SBF. He called him the next J.P. Morgan. That's right, the next J.P. Morgan, just 2 months before everything blew up. It's the same Jim Cramer who said just a couple of months before Lehman Brothers collapse, he said, Lehman Brothers is just fine, keep your money there. And there are also institutional firms. I mean, these are the smart ones in the room, right? Who all went to elite Ivy League schools, who poured billions into FTX. And there was FBF saying he's going to give his billions to charity. And even the NBA's Miami Heat arena was called the FTX arena. So you can see why a lot of people fell for the scam artist. Oh, and don't forget, we all saw SBF on stage with Bill Clinton. Yes, the Bill Clinton. So FBF had to be a great guy, right? He was on stage with the Bill Clinton. Wrong. And by the way, on a side note, do not, I repeat, do not invest in anything that is even remotely attached to Bill Clinton. That should be a clear sign that something unethical or immoral is happening behind the scenes. So the big question is, why did so many people fall for this guy? Even the investment experts. And why didn't anyone check him out? I mean, it seemed like no one did any due diligence. I saw an interview of SBF's girlfriend, who was the chief financial officer for FTX, and she basically said she had no idea what she was doing in her role as CFO. She didn't monitor anything, didn't keep track of the money, and she was laughing as she admitted this on camera. It was just bizarre. And yet people, very smart people, couldn't wait to give him money. And you have to wonder, where's the media in all of this? Why are they so quiet? I mean, after all, this is a massive scandal that ruined thousands of people's lives. And yet it's crickets out there. They won't touch this story. I think my spider senses are tingling here. Well, we all know why. SBF was the second biggest donor to the Democrats during the midterm elections. I mean, he poured millions into their campaign coffers. And of course, the mainstream media's primary role is to protect the Democrats, right? There's no secret there. And not to get off subject, but it's important you understand the bigger story under the hood. What the true motivations are and why this is being covered up. You have to wonder. And one more thing on this. There is a ton of speculation, and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of this, that a lot of money we Americans sent to Ukraine to defend off Russia, or to fight off Russia, was laundered back to SBF and his crypto scam, which he then gave to Democrat politicians, and some Republicans as well, I will add. So essentially what was happening, we were sending money to Ukraine. Ukraine was investing in FTX. SBF, I should say, took that money and then donated it to Democrat politicians. I mean, it's absolutely scam. That's why the media has been totally quiet on this, which is another reason the mainstream media is dead quiet. So, going back to my original question, why did so many people fall for this? And on that note, why do so many people fall for these investment scams repeatedly? Is it greed? Well, yeah, absolutely. You can make a case of that. But I believe it's deeper than that. Let me explain. In the 17th century in Holland, that's right, there was a speculative frenzy that turned into what we now call tulip mania. Yes, that's the brightly colored flower you could buy at any nursery store in the world today, a tulip. Here's what happened. The demand exceeded supply, and the prices for individual tulip bulbs skyrocketed. It was literally a frenzy. As prices started to rise, this tempted many ordinary middle class and even poor families to speculate in the tulip market. Homes, estates, and industries were mortgaged just so that bulbs can be bought for resale at higher prices. And by about 1610, a single bulb of a new variety was acceptable as a dowry for a bride. That's right. And a flourishing brewery in France, that's right, a brewery, was exchanged for one tulip bulb. At the height of this bubble, tulips sold for approximately 10,000 guilders, equal to the value of a mansion on the Amsterdam Grand Canal. A tulip bulb. And the crash came in 1637 when doubts finally arose as to whether or not prices would continue to climb. And almost overnight, the price structure of these tulips collapsed, leaving behind a financial ruin for many ordinary Dutch families. They were essentially wiped clean. And I saw something similar to this in the early 2000s during the internet boom, when any company that had .com at the end of its name saw its stock price climb to the moon. It was insane. Many of these companies didn't even have a business plan, let alone any earnings. All they had was an idea for an internet company. They put .com at the end of their name, and people were throwing money at the stock, convinced that internet company, who hadn't even sold a product, was going to make them rich. And I can remember I lost a few clients during this time period because I wasn't investing in these .com stocks on their behalf. One of the key stories in my book, this one titled, "My Company Will Take Care of Me," and by the way, I highly encourage you to read that story, especially in today's environment. I share the story about how a very successful and wealthy client of mine decided to leave me, took their accounts elsewhere because I wouldn't allocate money to these garbage investments. And in the end, they lost everything. Then we saw the mortgage meltdown in 2008. Remember that one? Yeah, that was ugly, where every average Joe became an overnight real estate expert. And they convinced themselves and anyone else who would listen that real estate is the ticket to wealth. And people were in another frenzy to buy as much property as they possibly could. I remember being told that I was crazy for selling my house in 2007. I and so many others, it was so obvious, saw this bubble getting ready to burst. It was tulip mania all over again. And yet so many people had blinders on. They refused to see the other side of it. And now, what is it? It's crypto, right? And I used to hear about crypto all the time. It was the number one topic of conversation I would overhear at my gym. Well, frankly, I used to hear about it earlier this year. It's funny how no one is really even talking about crypto today. I have acquaintances who have zero investment experience. I mean, none, telling me how amazing crypto is and how great it'll be and how it's the sure thing. And then when they tried to explain it to me, how it all works, I just got more and more confused. And I still don't understand crypto. And by the way, that's been a hard rule for me. If I can't understand it, then I don't invest in it, period. Something that you should consider as well. And now it looks like the entire crypto market is collapsing. Almost every day you read a story of another cryptocurrency filing for bankruptcy. It's turned into a massive disaster. Then you have these NFTs, these non-fungible tokens. Do you hear those? And they were all the rage, right? It's something you designed to give you something that can't be copied. And they can be anything, but I think the most popular is digital artwork. I mean, there is a digital art piece called The Merge that sold for $92 million. $92 million, it's insane. Jack Dorsey, the founder of Twitter, sold his first tweet, I think a picture of it, for $3 million. I mean, literally you could draw a picture and sell it. And if you're famous, it's likely someone would actually buy it and pay thousands, if not millions of dollars for it. And I don't hear anyone talking about NFTs anymore. And I would love to know what those things are worth today. And look, I'm not famous, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I decided. I mean, what do I have to lose, right? So earlier today, I spent some time and I created my own digital artwork. And I can assure you it's completely original. And I would urge you, feel free to make me an offer. You can leave a comment in your offer below, and I'd likely sell it to you. Totally original. I mean, this took me quite a long time, but if I think this is worth, I don't know, at least $1 million. So again, feel free to leave an offer in the comment section. So, all joking aside, when you step back and wonder why people continue to fall for these financial traps over and over and over again, I could sum it up. It's that people are desperate to get rich and get rich quick. A lot of people are not satisfied with their life. They're not living with meaning or purpose, and they haven't taken the time to truly understand what their true vision is. They think it's money, but it really isn't. It's something much, much deeper than that. And I've seen this with my clients for years. Those that are thriving in life in any environment, any market environment, understand at the core what is meaningful to them. That's the key difference. And they have a clear insight into what their vision is. On the other hand, those that continue to struggle, and I see this so often, are simply winging it in life, hoping that they'll strike it rich with their next investment scheme. And they're constantly chasing the new shiny object and hoping and praying that that will change their life. But there's also a well-researched phenomenon that can be summed up with an acronym, which is FOMO. Maybe you've heard of it. FOMO. Stands for the fear of missing out. It's people falling for this herd mentality, and they want to be part of something and not miss out on it. And this has driven a lot of people into financial ruin, which I explained earlier. This herd mentality describes how people are influenced by their peers to adopt certain behaviors and or make certain decisions largely on emotion rather than on a rational basis. And it damages our ability to make smart and independent decisions away from the herd. And this herd mentality has been ingrained into so many people's minds, and that's the common underlying reason why so many people fall for these investment traps. So, I'll wrap up there. If anything, I just hope that opened your eyes to what has happened and perhaps why you're stuck in this constant treadmill hoping the next new thing is going to transform your financial life. Because I guarantee you, the next hot new thing is coming. And when it does come and you get that emotional tug to look into it, just make sure you do your own thorough analysis and don't fall for it, even if the herd is going there. Just because some celebrity endorsed it or because the CEO sounds like a cool, nice guy, you have to study both sides of the things, the good and the bad. Really do your due diligence. Frankly, what I really want for you, my strong suggestion, is that you create your own golden opportunity and not rely on someone else to create your wealth. That's what I want for you. One last thing, just a reminder, my course titled Thrive Path, The Revolutionary Process to Financial Freedom is available on my website now. This course is scientifically designed to end your financial stress and anxiety so you can start living life on your own terms. Is there any other way to live? No, there really isn't. So check it out. It really is a game changer. All right, until next time, upward and onward. Take care. Bye-bye.